Hi, my name is Bill East, and today I'd like to talk to you about how we can deliver value through the life cycle of a building project by providing open standard building product data and allowing that information to be used all the way from the manufacturer down to the facility maintenance personnel. As we think about what we do today, consider the case of one building project somewhere in the world and the extent to which all of the information we exchange about the things that are going to go into that building, the equipment, the products, and the materials, are transmitted in essentially a document-based format, mostly in paper. If you've worked on these projects, I probably don't have to tell you that you're overwhelmed by the volume of material. Simply finding out the status of this information or the history of the products that you've selected through the course of the project and establishing criteria and replacement information. This is simply an overwhelming task. It's especially overwhelming if we consider that we've been doing it this way since the invention of paper, and that our current technology is not making this any easier. In fact, it's really making it worse. Despite the amount of money that we've spent on software and changing criteria and improving specifications, we simply haven't solved this problem in our industry. The solution appears to be, today, someone comes up with a great new idea and they say, use my software and all your problems will be solved. Well, it hasn't happened, has it? So many companies have said, well, if you can't solve the problem with this one technology, we'll make a whole set of technology and you buy our whole set of technology and all of that stuff working together will solve the problem. Well, that really hasn't solved it either. And I think one of the main reasons that it has not been solved is because we really use different tools for different jobs. So thinking that there's going to be one tool to solve our entire industry's issue is probably not going to be correct. Now let me just give you an example to think about here before we go to the next slide. Let me ask you, how many different kinds of hammers are there in your toolbox? Well, you probably have quite a few hammers in your toolbox at home, and here's a few more examples. Pile driving hammers, chiseling hammers, tenderizing hammers you use in the kitchen. And each of them has a very specialized meaning. So, and purpose. Would you want the doctor to use a jackhammer on your knee? No. They use a very specialized tool. So tools have to be specialized for the purpose that they're going to be used for. So providing one or thinking that there's going to be one solution to this building life cycle information exchange is not really a perspective that is helping us solve this problem. But let's just take the case and let's say, what if there was one tool that would fix our problems forever in our industry and we all bought it? Well, of course, tools change over time and so does technology, so that's not really the answer either. In fact, I have an intern. This particular briefing was made in 2011. I have a 21-year intern that worked for me this summer. He looked at this slide. He just happened to be glancing over my shoulder and said, what is that on that guy's t-shirt? So even in our working lifetimes, we will see many generations of technology. One specific tool and one implementation of that tool will not solve our problems either. What I would like to suggest to you is that what our industry needs is open, structured building information that we can all share and trust. If we have this open, structured building information and we know that we can share it with confidence, then we can use whatever tool we need at whatever stage in the project to use the data in the way that we need it. So I think you'll agree with me that what we've been doing so far is not working. So what's the alternative? Well, one possible way to solve this is by defining these open, structured building information exchanges we need. And one of the projects to do that is called the Specifiers Properties Information Exchange Project, or also called SPI. if we think about building products and equipment and materials, there's lots of kinds of things we might be interested in knowing about them. We might be interested in knowing what standards they meet and what their maintenance requirements are, how you install them, how you operate them once you're living with those products in your building, what you need to do to purchase the equipment or materials. And also you might be interested in their specification. And by specification, I mean what is the information required to decide to purchase one product or another product. The purpose of the SPI project is specifically to look at the specification properties that are standard across different types of products. In looking at the kind of benefits that such an open standard for product specifications would create, I think that there's 4 primary benefits. The first and most important is the benefits to the people who make products, because these open standards are going to allow people to search and find the products that those manufacturers produce that will allow them to execute and perform and operate that design, construction, and operation of that building more efficiently. Now, manufacturers already have this information. It's not an issue of manufacturers needing to go recreate it. The problem is that they've got many different requirements for the delivery of the information. If there's one standard format that everybody works to, then obviously it's in everyone's benefit for improved efficiency to do that. For the people that are designing and building and teaming up to make these projects, we can do life cycle analysis because we'll have the efficiency and the expected life of these projects. It certainly promotes a faster execution of the business process in order to select and approve the building equipment, materials, or products. And of course that leads to a set of less expensive documentation about the project as well. Operators have many benefits. They can have the correct warranty information, the correct preventive maintenance information coming directly from the manufacturer. They can get the manufacturer's parts number so that when they have a need for replacement, they will be able to go get the part that they need. That all leads to improved user satisfaction with those products, directly driving the benefit back to increased sales for those manufacturers. Operators are going to be able to look across manufacturers as they operate a building, and they may buy a different manufacturer's product than the product that was originally installed if they find out that the new product is more efficient. Now, those of us that are interested in providing IT services to these groups of people will also find tremendous benefit in this, because we'll all be mapping to a single standard based on the ISO STEP standard with an overlay of these specifiers' properties. And subsequent videos can talk a lot more about implementation and so forth. But at this high level, it certainly makes sense that everybody writing to a single standard for building product data is a lot cheaper than everybody trying to write to everybody's individual standard. We know that simply doesn't work, because that's the way it's been going.